Welcome back. Today's topic, reverse osmosis and water purification. The flow of solvent molecules from its side to the solution side through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. If we apply osmotic pressure on the solvent side, what will happen? The flow of the solvent stops. If we keep on increasing the pressure, the solvent from the solution will flow in the opposite direction. And this phenomenon is called reverse osmosis. Or otherwise, when the applied pressure is more than osmotic pressure, the pure solvent flows out of the solution through a semi-permeable membrane. This process is used in desalination of seawater. Now you can see the schematic representation now. Here, salt solution and pure water are separated by a semi-permeable membrane. If you are not applying any pressure, what will happen? Osmosis taking place. That means water molecule from the pure water side will flow to the saline water side. And if you are applying pressure, you can see the piston over there, no? In that side, if you are applying pressure which is greater than osmotic pressure, water from the saline water side will flow through the semi-permeable membrane and reaches the pure water side. The amount of fresh water increases there. That is, reverse osmosis has taken place. Here, we are using the semi-permeable membrane as cellulose acetate.
Here are some numericals from colligative property. First one, vapor pressure of pure water at 298 Kelvin is 23.8 millimeters of mercury. 50 gram of urea, that is NH2CONH2, is dissolved in 850 gram of water. Calculate vapor pressure of water for the solution and its relative lowering. The data is given are vapor pressure of pure water is given, no? That is P10 is equal to 23.8 millimeters of mercury. And here water is the solvent and urea is the solute. And so W1 is equal to 850 gram and W2 is equal to 50 gram. Okay, and 1 stands for solvent and 2 stands for solute. And now we have to calculate molar mass of solvent and a solute. Here solvent is water, no? So molar mass of water is 18 gram per mole. Is it? How can we calculate that? H2O, hydrogen with atomic mass 1, hydrogen 2 numbers are there. So 1 into 2 you are getting 2 plus oxygen, only one oxygen is there with the atomic mass 16. 16 plus 2 you are getting 18 gram per mole. And in the similar way we are going to find out M2 also, urea NH2CONH2. So molar mass can be calculated, that nitrogen with 14 as the atomic mass. So 14 plus 2 hydrogens are there, 2 into 1, 2 plus carbon 12, oxygen 16, then nitrogen again 14 and 2 hydrogen 2. And adding all the atomic masses you are getting 60 gram per mole as the M2. Okay. Then we have to find out relative lowering of vapor pressure. So relative lowering of vapor pressure is nothing but P10 minus P1 whole divided by P10, which is equal to X2. Okay, so X2 is the mole fraction of solute, and we know that X2 is nothing but N2 divided by N1 plus N2. Okay, where N1 and N2 are the number of moles of solvent and a solute. And we know that N is equal to W by M, where W is the mass taken and M is the molar mass. So N2 is equal to W2 by M2 and N1 is equal to W1 by M1. So that we can write this equation as X2 is equal to W2 by M2 whole divided by W1 by M1 plus W2 by M2. And we can have all the values for W1, W2 and M1 and M2 values are given. Okay, already have that value. So substitute this value in that equation so that you are getting X2 is equal to, X2 is equal to 50 by 60 whole divided by 850 by 18 plus 50 by 60. Okay, so on calculating you are getting the value 0.0173, which have no unit, because relative lowering, no, P1 0 minus P1 whole divided by P1 0, in both numerator and denominator having same unit, so cancelling the unit, so that you are getting no units. Otherwise we can say that it's x2. X2 means mole fraction, no, mole fraction having no units. Okay, then what is the next thing we have to find out? Okay, calculate the vapor pressure of water for this solution, no. So vapor pressure of water in its solution, no, so that is P1. From this equation, P1 0 minus P1 whole divided by P1 0 is equal to 0.0173 is already there. From that equation we can find out P1, because P1 0 is already given as 23.8 millimeters of mercury. Okay, so substituting that value, no, so that you are getting P1 value. So how can we rearrange this? P1 0 minus P1 is equal to that P1 0 denominator can be shifted to the other side, no, as cross multiplication. So P1 0 minus P1 is equal to 0.0173 into P1 0. Okay, and one more, we can rearrange this equation again as P1 is equal to P1 0 minus 0.0173 into P1 0. Simple mathematics. And we then we can substitute the value of P1 0 as 23.8. Okay, it is already given, no, then substitute that value, you will get 23.8 minus 0.0173 into 23.8, and which is equal to 23.8 minus 0.411, and on calculating, your P1 value should be 23.38 millimeters of mercury. So I hope you understand this one. Second one, how much sucrose is to be added to 500 gram of water such that it boils at a 100 degrees Celsius if the molar elevation constant for water is 0.52 Kelvin kilogram per mole, and the boiling point of water at 750 millimeters of mercury is 99.63 degrees Celsius. So what are the things given, no? Water boils, here solvent is water, and we know that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius anyway, it is given here. So TB0, that is the freezing point of pure solvent, which is equal to 100 degree, and we have to convert that into Kelvin scale, that is add 273.15 to get Kelvin scale. So you are getting 373.15 Kelvin as TB0, and boiling point of water at 750 millimeters of mercury is 99.63 degrees Celsius also given, that is TB, freezing point of solution. Okay, so 99.63 degrees Celsius, in Celsius only given, so we have to convert that into Kelvin scale. So 99.63 plus 273.15 is equal to 372.78 Kelvin, that you have to write here Kelvin also. Okay, then what is the thing given? W1 is given as 500 gram, that is sucrose. No, how much sucrose is to be added to 500 gram of water? So water, the weight of water taken is 500 grams, so that W1 is equal to 500 gram, and we have to find out W2. Okay, how much sucrose is to be added, that we have to find out. So W2 we have to find out, and we know that M1 is equal to 18 gram per mole, that is molar mass of water. Okay, then sucrose M2 also we can find out molar mass of sucrose also, and we know that sucrose formula is C12H22O11. Okay, from that formula we can find out molar mass of sucrose. Okay, that is 12 carbons are there, and with the atomic mass 12, so 12 into 12 plus hydrogen 1, and 22 hydrogens are there, so 22 into 1 plus oxygen 11 numbers are there, and atomic mass of oxygen is 16, so 11 into 16. On calculating this one, you are getting 342 gram per mole as the molar mass of sucrose. Okay, then we know that here delta B that is elevation of boiling point can be find out from the equation delta TB is equal to TB0 minus TB, where TB is the freezing point of pure solvent and TB0 is for pure solvent and TB for freezing point of solution. Okay, or two of them are given, so simply substituting, so that you are getting 373.15 minus 372.78, you are getting 0.37 Kelvin. Okay, and we know that delta TB is equal to KB into molality. Okay, molality only, and we know, and molality is nothing but number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kilogram. Okay, N2 divided by W1 in kg. Okay, so N2 is equal to W2 by M2, that also we know. W2 and M2, W2 we have to find out, and M2 is given as or we found out as 342 gram. Okay, and divided by W1. W1 is given here as 500 gram, no? 500 gram, you have to change that into kilogram, so 500 into 10 raised to minus 3, no? Or we can divide it with the 500 divided by 1000. So denominator again divided by 1000, so it will come in the numerator. So W2 into 1000, so M is equal to W2 into 1000 divided by 342 into 500. Okay, and from that equation we can find, that is molality, no? M, that M value can be substituted in the previous equation, that is delta TB is equal to KB into M. Okay, that M value can be substituted. Okay, and delta TB is equal to 0. You can see that, no, this one 0.37 Kelvin, that is delta TB. That value also we are substituting in this equation, so that you are getting 0.37 Kelvin is equal to, what is that, KB. KB value it is given as 0.52 Kelvin kilogram per mole, no? That you have to substitute here. Okay, in this equation, no, 0.37 Kelvin is equal to 0.52 Kelvin kilogram per mole into W2. That so that much we substituted, no? You look in the previous equation, that is delta TB is equal to KB into molality. So delta TB value we wrote and KB value also we wrote. We substituted, and M value we are going to substitute. M value is equal to W2 into 1000 divided by 342 into 500. Okay, that also we are going to substitute. So you are getting that 0.52 Kelvin kilogram per mole into W2 into 1000 divided by 342 gram per mole into 500 kilogram. Okay, then on rearranging that equation, you will get W2 as 0.37, cross multiplication only, 0.37 into 342 into 500 divided by 0.52 into 1000, and on calculating you are getting 121.67 gram. Okay, calculate the mass of ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, C6H8O6, to be dissolved in 75 gram of acetic acid to lower its melting point by 1.5 degrees Celsius, and Kf value is given as 3.9 Kelvin kilogram per mole. So the things given are, we have to find out mass of ascorbic acid. Here ascorbic acid is dissolved in 75 gram of acetic acid, no. So acetic acid is the solvent and ascorbic acid is the solute. So mass of ascorbic acid have to be calculated. So that is W2 we have to find out, and W1 is given as 75 gram. And here lower its melting point by 1.5 degrees Celsius. So delta TF is given as 1.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, and delta TF is depression in freezing point, and we are doing all the calculations in Kelvin scale, no, and we have to convert that into Kelvin. Here delta TF is taken, that is change in temperature only. That means delta TF is equal to TF minus TF0. So change in temperature only. So it doesn't matter about the unit, no. So 1.5 degree Celsius can be written as 1.5 Kelvin, because we are taking change in temperature. Okay, and we know that delta TF is equal to KF into molality. Okay, KF is already given and delta TF also is given. So we have to find out only molality, and we know that molality is the number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kilogram, that is N2 divided by W1 into in kilogram, W1 in kilogram, and N2 is equal to, we know that number of moles can be calculated by the formula W by M, and so N2 is equal to W2 by M2 here, and W2 is the thing we have to find out, and M2 is given, that we have to find out, so M2 is the molar mass of ascorbic acid. From the formula we can easily find out molar mass. So 6 carbon atoms are there, so 6 into carbon with the atomic mass 12, so 6 into 12 plus 8 hydrogens are there, 8 into 1 plus oxygen 6 number of oxygens are there, 6 into atomic mass of oxygen is 16, so 6 into 16 altogether you are getting 176 gram per mole. Okay, so M2 also can be calculated. Then W1 we have to write in kilogram only, so it is given as 75 gram, so multiply 75 gram into 10 raised to minus 3, you are getting in kilogram. Okay, substitute that things, so that you are getting W2 divided by 176 is the molar mass into W1 is 75 into 10 raised to 3. So that particular thing, no, M value is given, we find, and you have to substitute that in the previous equation, so that delta TF is equal to KF into M should be. Delta TF value is 1.5 Kelvin is equal to KF value 3.9 Kelvin kilogram per mole into W2, that molality, that is W2 divided by 176 into 75 into 10 raised to minus 3, that we have to write. Here in this equation, instead of writing 10 raised to minus 3, I have written divided by 1000. 10 raised to minus 3 means 1 by 1000 only, no? So here we have to take in the numerator. Okay, so the equations will be like this way. Okay, on calculating that you will get on rearranging this equation you will get W2 is equal to 1.5 into 176 into 75 whole divided by 3.9 into 1000, which is equal to 5.08 gram. Calculate the osmotic pressure in pascals exerted by a solution prepared by dissolving 1.0 gram of polymer of molar mass 1,85,000 in 450 ml of water at 37 degrees Celsius. In this question we have to calculate osmotic pressure pi, and you have given 1.0 gram of polymer. Polymer is the solute, and so W2 is given as 1 gram. Okay, 1.0 gram, 1 gram, and molar mass also is given of that polymer is 1,85,000. So M2 also given as 1,85,000 gram per mole. Okay, then 450 ml of water is taken. So volume is equal to V is equal to 450 ml, that is equal to 450 into 10 raised to minus 3 liters. We can convert milliliter to liter by multiplying it with the 10 raised to minus 3. And here temperature 37 degree also is given. So T is equal to 37 plus 273.15. Here we have to convert degree Celsius to Kelvin scale. So you are getting 310.15 Kelvin. Okay, and you want to find out pi. Pi is equal to N2 RT by V, as we all know that. Okay, so for that we have to know T is given directly, V also given, and R is equal to 0.082 liter atmosphere per Kelvin per mole. That is R value, gas constant value. And we have to find out N2 also. N2 is equal to W2 by M2. So W2 is 1 and M2 is equal to 1,85,000. So N2 is equal to 1 by 1,85,000 mole. Okay, so we have to substitute all these values in that equation for pi, so that you will get pi is equal to N2 RT by V, no? So N2 is equal to 1 by 1,85,000, R is equal to 0.082 and T is equal to 310.15 and divided by V, no? So V is equal to 450 into 10 raised to minus 3 liters. Okay, so substitute that in equation and you, on calculating that, you are getting pi is equal to 3.05 into 10 raised to minus 4 atmospheres. But in this question, it was asked that we have to find out osmotic pressure in pascals, and we found in atmospheres only. So we have to convert that into Pascal by multiplying that with 1.01 into 10 raised to 5. On multiplying 3.05 into 10 raised to minus 4 with 1.01 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal, you will get the osmotic pressure in pascals. So pi is equal to 30.8 pascals. That is your answer.